one of the biggest scandals to breach our community in a long time is this Giacomo Turra thing. Now, I have a slightly different opinion and take on this, so I got to share all this with you. First, what he did was despicable. And if you don't know what he did, he basically would find artists that were very obscure but very talented, and he would copy what they're doing, and then he would claim that he wrote it, and he wouldn't credit them until there was some stink made about it. Then he started crediting people. He would pass off their compositions as his own and sell tabs of it, and he wasn't talented enough to just play it, so he would have to play it at half speed and then speed it up to be able to, and then he would mime to it to be able to try to pretend like he's actually able to play it. Now, of course, as you know, this all came to a head when everyone on the internet called him out for this, basically. I mean, tons of people called him out. You could find those videos all over the place. When I heard this story, all I could think of was, man, does the ego get in the way of what we are trying to accomplish? Absolutely, 1,000%. For some reason, his ego was so ridiculously convoluted that he thought he could be the next amazing guitar impresario talent guy. He's like, this is me. That's who I am. So I got to show people that. Now, if he was just truthful and honest, none of this would have came back to bite him. All he would have had to do is be like, I'm as good as I am. A moderately good guitarist. I'm pretty good. I'm probably like all of you, because most of us are in that category of we're pretty good, but we ain't amazing like Stevie Ray Vaughan level. There's that level, and then there's below it. There's a lot of people below it, is my point. I'm in that category below it. Like, I know I'm not as great as some of these amazing, like, Mancuso or anything. No, what are you kidding? There's different levels of amazing, and then there's everybody else, right? So the way I look at it is he should have been like, okay, I'm going to kill my ego before it destroys me and before it destroys everything, including my name and everything I could possibly do. What I will do is destroy the idea that I am this impresario guitarist. Instead, I want to make money in music. I want to put my stuff out there and have people know me for doing what I love. So in other words, I want my day-to-day, my everyday, all my hours. I'm not saying, I'm only getting into this to make music, to make money. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he knows he wants to make music. He loves playing guitar. He wants to put into the world music and have people see him, and he wants to make that his day job. He wants to do it every day for a job. That's what I'm saying. So he knows all that. You just got to get rid of this idea that you're going to be the best guitarist, up there with Stevie Ray Vaughan. If you just don't have that part, maybe there's another way you can offer people something valuable. And what that would be in his case would have been the other things he did that take a lot of work and are not easy. I mean, it's hard. Find these artists that are doing great stuff. Just that right there. If he were to bring people along on the journey of, I'm looking for obscure artists that write really amazing parts. You got videos on videos on videos right there that he could have made. It wouldn't have been the same 30 seconds where he sits down in a brightly lit place and everyone stares at him playing and goes, wow, I wish I was that good at the guitar. But change your idea of what you think you need to do. If he just brought people on the journey of what he was doing to discover these artists, that could have been fun to watch. And what if he also brought people along on the journey of, check me out. This is how I play guitar. I ain't that amazing Stevie Ray Vaughan level. I'm me, like most of you. Now watch me learn this part and watch me mess up time and time again and edit that together and make videos of that. Now watch me record it at a slower tempo now that I've gotten, the riffs under my fingers and I can kind of play it. Now watch me do it at half speed. Now, did you know you could record that at half speed and speed it up and it sounds like this? Now watch me do, doesn't it look like I'm really playing it? In other words, he could actually bring people along on the journey of what it's like to make videos where you look like you're playing stuff like this and how you got there. Like, be real. The trick in this world right now to being somebody that anybody cares about is to not pretend you're something you're not. That's the number one anchoring philosophy for you. I mean, it's always been this way, but especially today. Today, it's been proven, like, people who come across as they're trying less and are just who they are, just real people, flaws and all, they get further. So all he would have had to do is been honest with himself about how good he is and been honest with his followers and his viewers and bring them along on that journey every day. And he would have been worth watching. Maybe he wouldn't have achieved millions of followers in a short amount of time as he did, but he would have had something sustainable that wasn't built on a lie. He would have had a career or a future that actually could have maybe gone somewhere where he wouldn't have this huge tarnish, next to his name forever. His name is messed up as the guy who did this. Even with all that, the way I'm describing the right way to make the kind of content that he was making is applicable to you or anybody else who wants to do that. Because like I said, it's not going to be easy. And even if I tell this to whoever winds up watching this video, if 100 people see it, 100 people could do the same thing I'm saying and make it completely different. Every video would be different because your personality is going to come out when you actually have to talk, when you have to explain yourself, when you have to explain what it is you find interesting about whatever, or how you would break the part down and how you would film that, and then how you'd edit it together and how you'd put it up in a way that might be something people might want to watch. Like, your personality is going to come out in that. And no matter how many people hear the same idea, no one's going to do it exactly the same. So it doesn't matter even me giving this away, but I feel like that would be so great for people. Like, if he did that, I mean, this is probably still something this guy could do. And with all the followers and attention he's acquired so far, if he just flipped to then doing this, he'd lose some of them probably, but at least the people who stuck around would be like, I'm happy that you're really being you now, and we get to see who you really are. And it's interesting to watch somebody real. It's not as interesting to watch this fake lie. What's interesting is to watch the lie get exposed, and all the, that's why it garnered so much attention. But it doesn't, like, now we're in a position where he can't do what he was doing before. He lost all his sponsorships and all the stuff that was everything he built now is it's basically crumbled down. But it doesn't change the fact that it's not easy to do what he did. And all he had to do was bring people along on the journey of what he did. And in order to do that, he'd have to kill his ego. And if he did that, I think you'd have something. Now, this is very similar to, there was another situation. I had somebody talking to me who was, asked me how their band was. Like, they wanted my opinion on the band. And, learning about the band, what I realized was this happens so often, right? The singer of this band was a great singer, but he also played guitar, and he's not the greatest guitarist. And when I listened to the band, I thought, wow, the band would be so much better without the guitar. Like, that one guitar, if that wasn't there, it would be great. However, the singer is the guy playing guitar, and the singer envisions himself as this amazing guitarist. It's part of his identity. It's his ego. I need to play guitar while I sing. But the band is worse because of it. So the ego gets in the way of this band sounding as good as they could. If the band sounded better, more people would like it. And now all of a sudden you have, a beautiful painting as an analogy. Whereas when you have a guy in the band who's an amazing vocalist but a terrible guitarist, and now you try to paint that picture, you've got a beautiful picture with crap stains on it. Now, those stains destroy what the picture could look like, but more importantly, every time you walk by it, it smells. It smells. It's no longer a beautiful picture. It's got crap on it. Now, that gnarly crap that's on this amazing picture ruins everything about the picture. Now, you could say, oh, well, maybe I like it better with the crap on it. That's not the point. The point is that because of this person's ego, they won't drop the guitar because they see themselves a certain way. Just like because of Giacomo's ego, he wouldn't drop the fact that he's not who he wants to be in his head. He's not this amazing guitarist who can get away with playing. He doesn't write that stuff that's that good. That's why he had to copy it. He can't play it at the right tempo, so he's got to record it slow and speed it up. I mean, if he was just honest, he could have avoided this bullshit, the lies, the fake stuff, and just gotten to a better outcome than where he did. Just like the guy in the band, if he would just be like, maybe I'm just a singer, he'd get to a better outcome, but he has to let go of this impression that he has of himself, that he's who he thinks he is, also a guitarist. And if he doesn't, that band sounds worse. You know, when you're competing with bands on bands, everybody wants to be a musician. So as soon as you have anything that's a real negative in your band, what makes you think you have the same amount of chances as everybody else? You don't. Now you're no longer as great as you can be, this group of people, because that's what a band is. It's like an ecosystem of people. And that's why some bands, like you change one guy, it's a completely different band, sounds totally different. Everybody, you know, it's a living, breathing thing. And when you have something that's making everything worse, the whole environment in that ecosystem is messed up. And it can't be changed because of the ego. This is, I mean, there's so many things like this that happen in life, like these Instagram models, these women that are clearly so fake in terms of what they look like, but they're doctor their photos and they try to pretend like they're not. It happens in the bodybuilding world too, people claiming they're not on steroids and stuff who clearly are. And what this, it's like, if they would just get so much further, in my opinion, because the people who are honest about what they're doing always wind up being more liked. It's a more, they're liked in like a longevity sense, because even if at that moment someone doesn't think they're as, you know, good looking or as, you know, muscular or whatever the thing is, they have a longevity because of their honesty and their truthfulness, how real they are. People will find something to want to stick around and watch more because they're getting something they don't get elsewhere, which is truth and honesty. And the girls on Instagram who have all the fake stuff but come out and say, hey, just so you know, I'm not natural. I have fake tits. I have fake lips. I have fake hair. I have fake nails. I got liposuction. I got, you know, the ones that do that are the ones that have the people who really stick around for longer. No one's like not going to look at a beautiful girl because they find out she's half fake. That doesn't matter to them. They're looking at her for whatever reason they're looking at her because she's beautiful. So what I'm saying is the ones that lie are just now liars and they're living a lie. And the ones that tell the truth are people who have a just, honest, you know, stance and platform and know where they are in the world. And they never have to worry about anything coming back to bite them. So you go into this thing, no matter what it is you want to do in life, you go in from the point of view of, I have to be honest. I have to be real. I'm not going to edit everything all to nuts. You know, I'm going to keep it exactly what I am, whatever that may be. And then I let the chips fall where they may. And anybody could do what Giacomo did from the point of view of, I'm going to take you on the journey and watch how bad I am really and watch me transform into something that sounds really good. And you could do it too by doing this. You show people, you bring them along. It might take you longer to get where you're going, but at least you're doing something that's real. You're not living this nonsense lie that will come crashing down. So in my opinion, you know, there's salvation out there for this guy if he can kill his own ego and he can just really do as much as he's capable of without lying, you know, and especially without stealing. How much do we get in our own way? A lot. Me personally, it's like if I were to never have gone down this road of making videos, because I didn't start out as somebody who woke up dreaming about making videos. I've often said that you have to reconsider where you are in this world and what you're capable of and what you are willing to do, because you might have to pivot in order to achieve something you're trying to achieve. Like in my case, I wanted to be an amazing mixer. And before that, I wanted to be a musician who was, you know, somebody out there on touring around the world playing Madison Square Garden. Like that's what I wanted. And I shifted into being someone who wanted to be a great mixer. And then I shifted into someone who wanted to talk about what I've learned by being someone who mixes, by making videos. And if I never did that last shift to making videos, I would not know as much as I know, because I learned so much just from having to put myself out there and give information on a daily basis. It forced me to do more research, to learn more things, to dive even deeper into something I already knew and I knew that I loved doing. It forced me to get more immersed in it, learn more, and become better as a result in order to give more information and to not give information in a way that could wind up hurting someone instead of helping them. Like, I really had to go deeper. And I'm so happy I did it, because that's one of the biggest benefits for me when I make videos for you guys is I'm, like, almost going through my own mental Rolodex of what I know and what I should know more of, and I wonder what this guy's using, and I'm forced to do research, I'm forced to dig deep in order to fulfill that idea and put it into a video. So I don't know, there's just so much to the benefits for what I do in this, platform, giving you guys information. There's so much that helps me that I would have never actually been able to benefit from if I always looked at myself as somebody who's not a content creator. So you never know where you're going to get the most benefits out of life. What you do know is you won't get there by lying, cheating, stealing, all the stuff he did. You don't fake who you are if you want to have a good life. How about that? All right. Questions, comments, throw it in there. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Leave a comment. I appreciate it. Take it easy.